is known and respected for its work on human rights, but does it do enough to promote the protection of those freedoms it says we're entitled to? This week, MEPs listened to visitors from Africa, Asia and the Middle East who want the EU to do more on preventing persecution of people on the basis of their religious beliefs. At a seminar organised by Italian MEP Mario Mauro, members of Parliament and other guests listened to the testimonies of witnesses of religious persecution. Amongst them was Bishop Kusala from Sudan, whose population is getting ready for a referendum which may split the country into two parts: the north, seat of the pro-Islam government, and the south, home to many of the country's Christians. The government would like the country to remain united, but the Christian population, who feel like second-class citizens according to the bishop, are unconvinced.
We have a religious act in the country that says Christians are not able to build churches in certain areas of the Sudan. They are prohibited by the law.
Monsignor Sacco, Archbishop of Kirkuk in Iraq, had a similar story to tell.
51 churches have been attacked during 7 years, and also more than 900 people have been killed. 1 archbishop, 3 priests have been murdered, 10 priests have been kidnapped.
Iraq's Christian population has more than halved, with a displaced community of hundreds of thousands leaving the Middle East for good. Brian Grimm is Senior Research Fellow at the Pew Forum on Religion and Public Life. His research backs claims by the Commission of the Bishops' Conferences of the EU that a huge percentage of religious discrimination is directed against Christians.
We find that Christians are harassed in a greater number of countries than other religious groups, but that doesn't necessarily show the intensity of harassment of Christian groups. One of the common trends of harassment of Christians in particular is that it tends to be the minority faith within a country that faces harassment.
Mario Mauro is adamant that the EU has a greater role to play in preventing persecution. According to him, one of the most important human rights issues facing us today, especially at a time when EU leaders are working to coordinate foreign policy and increase the EU's weight in foreign affairs.
If we realize agreement between, for example, European Union and Iraq, it's very important that we have an idea about the situation of Christians in Iraq. And it's very important to insert in this agreement the respect of human rights.
And his guests also had some ideas about how EU leaders can help.
Yeah, we are calling on the government of Sudan to handle this delicate moment with a lot of responsibility for the lives of the people, the protection of the people's life. At the same time, we are calling on the international community because we know that at the moment there are two sides building up emotionally, both the government in the north and in the south. So we need a neutral body in between the two to intervene to see that the two do not go into war.
There will be, just one citizenship is Iraqi. No minority and no majority. We are all equal, and the government should protect all the citizens. And maybe this is the job of the international community, because here in the West there are also minorities, but they have the full rights, and why not in the Middle East?